Hi, my name is Jen Young, and I wanted to tell you why I decided to leave LuLaRoe to become a Piphany stylist. A little bit about myself is I'm a mother of 3, and I have a husband who is an over-the-road truck driver. That meaning he is gone during the week, so I need to be home to be able to take care of the kids and work from home. I initially chose LuLaRoe because it seemed lucrative and I loved the comfort level of the clothing. It seemed there was a great team vibe, and I felt it would really be great for myself and my family. I busted my butt and I sold off all of my craft supplies, and I gutted my craft room to turn it into a boutique. I ended up selling LuLaRoe from January of 2017 to about September of 2018. I want to say August of 2018 is really when I decided it was time for me to go. I got a loan from a family member for the remaining amount needed to become a LuLaRoe retailer after I had sold off all of my craft supplies. Seeing how easy it was to make a few thousand a month, I figured it shouldn't be that hard to pay back that family member. I was sadly mistaken when I realized I needed to keep purchasing more items to encourage more shoppers. I started taking polls to see what my customers wanted. Still, the clothing just didn't move. I started doubting myself as a retailer. It also affected my home life, staying up until the wee hours of the morning, getting back up again the next day, still working, packing, all while the kids are getting ready for school, all over again. The need to be glued to my phone and constantly answering customers' questions while I would say 75% of the time not making a sale after answering those questions, when I really feel like I should have been being more present with my kids. I feel like I lost out on a lot of that time with my kids because of trying to make sure that I gave that 100% customer service and still missing out on those sales. Eventually the sales slowed drastically. And the only way I was getting sales was by discounting items, which then in turn, it really cut into my profit. After a while, I started stressing about all of this money that I had hanging on my racks. Shoppers slowly started finding better deals elsewhere. I even had a customer tell me that my upline told her not to shop with me anymore. And it sounded like she wasn't the only one that she was telling that to. That really, really hurt my feelings. This was somebody who I thought was a good friend, which is also why I signed up with her. And to find out that she was telling people not to shop with me really, really hurt me. And I realized after a while that a lot of the relationships within LuLaRoe just turned into catty relationships, and I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. So I started to question a lot as numerous lawsuits started coming about. You know, I just kind of tried hanging in there, seeing if things would improve, and income just slowed a lot. I started panicking because I had thousands of dollars hanging and it just wasn't moving. My anxiety really got the best of me. I mean, to the point where I was having to take medication because what I felt was having heart palpitations or whatever else. It was almost a daily occurrence, and I was even needing to take my anxiety meds just to sleep. So then I realized I really shouldn't be anxious about my own business. I should be having fun with it, and I started to realize that LuLaRoe just wasn't looking out for me as a retailer. That's when I decided enough was enough. My health was being affected, and I just couldn't take it anymore. After doing some research and following one of my ex-LuLaRoe retailers, I fell in love with watching her and her husband when I was onboarding in the queue with LuLaRoe, and they ended up leaving LuLaRoe. And when I saw her being super successful with Piphany and super cute in the clothing, I decided it was time for me to make a change, not only for me, but for my family. The perks of becoming a Piphany stylist outweighed my decision pretty quickly. There was no waiting in a queue to purchase any inventory or not get any at all. As a matter of fact, you don't need any inventory to be a successful stylist. They have this awesome sample program where stylists get first pick, and you get to review it to your group or whatever you choose to do. And you give them your feedback on that style. It's kind of fun. It's like playing dress up and saying, hey, check it out. Who wants one of their own? I mean, it seemed pretty easy, right? There's no stressing about clothes hanging on the racks. There's no mannequin needed. One thing that really sold me was that I did not have to be home to sell this. Like, I could do it on the go. I really loved that convenience where I felt like I was kind of trapped at home when I was selling LuLaRoe. I don't have to ship the clothing, which was a huge time saver and money saver in itself. Our products ship for free right from the company to the customer. This meant more time with my family and less time packaging and shipping. I don't have to photograph any inventory if I choose not to. And I instead get to take photos of myself once a week, wearing the sample to share with the group that week. Much less time consuming was a huge win. When I signed up with LuLaRoe, I spent almost $10,000. After I left LuLaRoe and I signed up with Piphany, I spent $299. Now they have even cheaper startup options. The most expensive package is still the same price, only you get to pick $250 in wholesale items to share with and review with your group, which, by the way, was not available when I started. That was amazing. I feel like that's just setting you up for success, and I really feel like Piphany really has your back. The sisterhood is really a true sisterhood. Everyone is really willing to help you succeed. Piphany is less than a year old and has so much room for growth and building a team. Last but not least, I earned my first ever trip with a direct sales company. My husband and I get to enjoy a cruise thanks to Piphany. We leave next week. There's a second cruise coming in fall. Do you want to join me?